Hi, Mr. Minnick here, helping my students learn how to animate a picture box around the form using for loops. So here's this worksheet called Animation with Loops Worksheet number 1. And it's really a guide for helping you with the Maze 1 programming assignment. Here is the maze that I drew as a sample, and the object is to get the mouse or the blue picture box, whatever, to go down hallway A, and then go down pathway B, go to the left on pathway C, go down D, to the right on E, up to F, and so on, until the mouse gets to the finish line, which is marked with this letter F. Okay, so the first step will be to move the picture box from left to right, the length of this pathway. Notice where the left edge of the picture box is. At about x equals 30, and we need the left edge to be at about x equals 250. Well, if you're going from 30 to 250, that's a difference of 220. So it needs to go 220 pixels. 220 pixels. And I recommend in my lecture notes, when you want to move something horizontally from left to right, to the right that is, I recommend using a for loop that looks like this, where we have j as a loop variable, and we take it from 1 to some number. And each time the for loop iterates or cycles around, because that's what a loop does, it goes around, this code is moving the picture box 10 pixels to the right. Because if your left edge has 10 added to it, that means you're moving to the right on the x-axis, because the x-axis goes from 0 to 300. And when you're adding 10, you're going up the x-axis. We need this me.refresh here and the threading.threadSleep just to make it look like it's going slowly across the screen. Otherwise it would go too quickly and we wouldn't see it with our eyes. So just trust me, you need these 2 lines of code there. This is the important one, plus equals 10. Now we will need to change this 5, because we need to move 200 and, what did I say? About 230 pixels. If moving 10 pixels at a time for a total of 230, that would mean that we need to move 23 times. 23 tens. 23 times 10 is 230. So we can answer this first question here with the number 23. And actually in my code that you downloaded, I think I put a 24 there. So the left edge is going to be at the point 270, and it's going to be at about here, just before it hits that wall. Because this loop, and I didn't put the refresh the code in here or the threading.thread.sleep. We're just eliminating that code to keep this worksheet short. Okay, once you've moved to the right on pathway A, 10 pixels at a time, which is 1 block at a time to get to there, now what do you need to do? Well, you need to move down. Well, the top edge is right here still. The top edge started here, and because the top edge wasn't affected, the top edge is still on this point, y equals 40. And we need it to go somewhere about right here. This would be a good spot to move the picture box from here to here. And we're moving in the down direction. So we need to take this top edge and add 10 pixels how many times do we add 10 pixels? Well, to go from here to here would be 10. Another 10 is 20. Another 10 is 30, 40, 50, and that's where the top edge, the new location will be. So 50 pixels. And if we're going 10 pixels at a time, and we're starting our J loop variable at 1, oops, sorry about that, then I think we need to go put the number 5 in here. Five times 10 is 50, for a total of 50 pixels in the down direction. Just like up here, 24 times 10. 24 times 10 is 240 pixels in the right direction for pathway A, and the pathway B is going down. Now, what's the difference here between going to the right and going down? Well, notice it's dot left plus 10. Here it's dot top plus 10. Because here we're using the top edge of the picture box and we're moving it 10 pixels at a time, and we're actually going up on the y-axis because the y-axis starts at 0 up here and it goes 50, 100, 150 up to roughly 250 or so. So again, we need the plus symbol in here to move down the screen, and we need the plus symbol to go to the right on the screen. So after this for loop executes, we moved to the right. After this for loop completely executes for 5 iterations, we moved down. Now we have to measure how far we need to move in hallway C to get to here. Well, again, it's the left edge that you need to move. And we're going down the x-axis. We're going from the point. Roughly 270. Where was I? I think at 270. We're going from the point 270. The left edge is at the point 270. And we need to go to roughly, what would you say, about 10, right here at this mark right here. This is where we want the picture box to be next. So go from 270 to where the left edge is at 10. 270 minus 10 is 260. That's 260 pixels we need to move. And if we're going 10 at a time, that means we need to use a for loop that goes from 1 to 26, because 26 times 10 is 260. So 26 is what I'm going to put on the next page of this worksheet, right here. And to go to the left and go down the x-axis, we need to go minus equals 10, and not the plus equals 10 that we saw on the previous page. To move down then, pathway D, we're using the top edge of the picture box to go in the down direction, and again that's going to need to be a plus equals 10. How far do we have to go for pathway D? How far do we have to go for pathway D? For pathway D, we would be taking the top edge from this spot, approximately 90, and we need to go to approximately right here. That gives us just enough clearance to be able to scoot across the hallway E, and this is the point 230, it looks like. So we need to go from 90 to 230. Well, if you do that subtraction, 230 minus 90, that comes out to, what does that come out to? 140. So this distance right here is 140 pixels. Sounds like we're going to be putting the number 14 in right here. And we already verified that we need a plus equal symbol there to go down though. And now let's look at pathway E. In pathway E, what do we have? What situation do we have in our hands? We need to go from here to approximately here, let's say. That's a movement in the right direction. And the left edge goes from here to here. This is the point 10, x equals 10. And this left edge is at the point, looks like it's at 50. 50 minus 10 is 40. We do not want to put a 40 in here. We need to put a 4 because we're moving 10 pixels at a time. And because we're going to the right, we need a plus equals. Oh, there's a blank here. What do we need to put in here? Do we need to put left or top? We need to put in left. Never, ever, ever try to do anything with the dot right or the dot bottom properties of a picture box. Not on this worksheet, at least. It won't work. You'll get an error message. And last of all, to go up pathway F, let's take a look at that. If you're right here, and you want to go up to about this spot right here, how far is that distance? Well, the top edge is at 230, and the top edge will eventually be at 120. 230 minus 120 is 110. So we need to cover a distance of 110 pixels, but we're going 10 at a time. So we need the number 11 here. 11 times 10 is 110 pixels. Okay, if we're going up, that means we need to use dot top. For down and up, you always use top. For right and left, you always use the dot left property. Okay, and we need to write pick player here. And do we need a plus or a minus? Well, if we're going up on this graph paper, that means we're going from a big number on the y-axis to a smaller number, from big to small. So we need to subtract. We need to subtract 10 pixels a bunch of times. So it's minus equals. Okay, that's the end of what I'm doing on this worksheet. I helped you get the picture box to here. I'm leaving it as an exercise for you to figure out how to get through hallway pathway G, then H, then I, J, K, up for L, over for M, up for N, and to the finish line in pathway O. So you have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 more loops to write. Whoops. You have 9 more loops that you need to write in this area here. Each loop needs for and next. And you need a line of code in between. It's going to start with pick player. And I recommend using J as your loop variable in all of these. And you're always going to start at 1. But you need to fill in what your upper boundary is on each of these. That is the numbers like 26, 14, 4, and 11. And whether you're putting left or top, and whether you're doing a plus or a minus. And all of these will have the amount of pixels, 10 pixels here. So that's a total of 9 more loops. 1, 2, 3, etc. Good luck with that. And of course, this is what you're doing for the assignment, the programming assignment Maze 1. You're pretty much writing all these for loops yourself and modifying them so that your player does not touch any of the walls of your maze and so that he ends up at the finish line.